Manager told me to send the title when it was his job. A few years ago, I worked at an exotic car dealership. We were the largest in the world for our brand, which will remain nameless for this post, and the exotic car side was run by one of the owners, a manager we'll call Jim, and two others my age who did most of the grunt work with me. We sold cars in all 50 U.S. states and would ship them wherever they needed to go. We all worked on every deal and were paid off the profit of the dealership, not individual sales. Jim was a major kiss-ass to the owner who oversaw our department. He wasn't good at his job, but he was good at playing the game, needed to stay on the owner's good side. He treated myself and the other younger guys like and tried to do as little work as he possibly could. He was openly racist, openly and knew nothing about the cars we sold or their main competition. Jim's main responsibility was to send out all paperwork to customers and make sure everything was set so we could release the car. A big part of this was making sure the car was registered before shipping it out if they financed through the manufacturer's financial arm. Most did, for a slight discount. This often meant sending all registration paperwork to the customer to go register it locally. Jim was the only one allowed to do this, as our manager had inherent distrust for the younger guys, even though we genuinely did great work. Don't get to one in the world for your brand if we weren't doing a good job. Well, when the owner wasn't there, Jim would often do nothing all day and then send some paperwork right before the end of the day. On the day things came to a head, he spent the morning shopping for pellet smokers and a cruise for his family to go on, and kept interrupting me to show me the different options he was looking at. Meanwhile, I was handling 2 in-person deliveries and dealing with all showroom traffic. Long story short, the end of his day rolls around and he didn't get the paperwork sent out, so he told me to do it. I explained that the owner made it clear he's the only one allowed to send the paperwork out for a registration, but he said, just send the paperwork out. So that's exactly what I did. The title needs to be filled out with the info for the financing company, or they'll have no claim to that car, and the registration will show no lien. So I sent the blank title out to the customer, knowing that meant they could just sign it and register like they didn't have a loan. The customer noticed and asked my manager why he left the lien holder off the title, but CC'd our whole department. The owner saw this and freaked out, shouting at my manager saying, "How could you this up? It's so simple." Which led to my manager having to admit he interrupted my actual work to make me send it out while not clarifying that he hadn't even filled out the title yet and that I had to do that. They sent an overnight envelope to the customer to send it back to us. Then we had to overnight it again once we filled it out. He got an earful, and the owner never let him live it down. I quit and moved into software sales, network monitoring, code-level app security monitoring, and I'll never work in a dealership again.